Hi there folks, this is Adam with 8Badge Gaming coming to you today with the first gameplay video in our Alolan Ninetails GX game series. So we are just going to hop right on into the queue, just go in fresh at this point, and we do get a pairing immediately here. It looks like we're likely against either, I would say, Rayquaza or potentially the alternate Crossman deck. Now I'm leaning more towards Rayquaza due to the deck box. We're going to call heads on the coin flip, and we won the coin flip for once. Color me surprised. We would indeed like to take the first turn. Well, we won't be able to use Beacon on our first turn. Getting the first evolve is actually pretty key. We do have two Remoraid's in hand, and we do have the Lele for the bench setup, so we can start a Vulpix, and we can see what our opponent is on, because that might determine what we might actually go into. Now, I'm thinking that we will end up going for the Lele. We're going to go for a draw supporter, or rather a Bridget, I guess I should say, not a draw supporter. We're going to use Bridget, lay a Remoraid for turn, and then I think pass the turn. We're not going to put down a Brooklet Hill just yet, in case there's something that we want to get rid of on our opponent's side. Let's check our prizes very quickly. So we have all of our Cocos, Mewtwo's, we have all of our Leles because we laid one. It looks like we have one of our Octillery's prize. We have both of our Remoraids. Let's see. We have one of our Ninetails prize and the baby Ninetails prized, a Aqua Patch prized. We have our Field Blows, Rescue Stretcher, Ultra Ball, Brooklet Hill. We're using a Bridget. We have our Cynthias, our Guzmas. We have an N in hand. We have a Sycamore prized. We have a choice band in hand, so that should be everything, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not quite everything, but that's okay. We'll get that on the next turn. And I think we'll put a choice band on possibly the Coco here. With that done, we're going to go ahead and pass it back on to our opponent. So we know at least 5 of our prizes. So now the final prizes are likely going to be energy, because I saw that we had 2 float stones, but we didn't get a chance to look at the energy themselves. So it could be some either, say, a DCE or a water. Given the ratios, it's likely a water. We're seeing our opponent go for an Ultra Ball here. Discarding a Tapu Koko GX is actually an interesting pull there. We get a Rayquaza on the bench. A Fighting Fury Belt is up here on this Rayquaza in the active. And we're getting an Instruct for 1. Our opponent's doing an N, which I think we're actually fine with. It means that we aren't wasting our supporter on our turn for essentially the same effect of the Cynthia. And we do hit some good stuff here. We do see an energy attachment here on to the Rayquaza in the active, a Max Elixir to get a second one onto the one in the back, and we're seeing a Tempest GX here. So our opponent is discarding their hand and then drawing 10 cards straight. Now, I don't like the Guzma here, but we could use it. So I think first off, we're going to go Ultra Ball, and we're going to discard an Alolan Vulpix, and let's say the other Ultra Ball. We're going to go for an Octillery here. We're going to evolve into Octillery. We're going to evolve into Ninetails. We're going to Guzma up the Oranguru into the active, put up our own Tapu Koko. We're going to attach a DCE to the Alolan Ninetails, and we're going to go for an Abyssal Hand here. Now, we're going to get a couple Aqua Patches and some Field Blowers. I think we'll save the Field Blower here for now. We'll retreat the Tapu Koko into our Ninetails GX, and we're going to start off with an Ice Blade. And we're going to hit, let's see, the second Rayquaza is harder to suit up. Let's hit this Rayquaza here. And that means that if we somehow do get 2 water energy on to our Ninetales, we will be able to KO that Rayquaza there. Now, unfortunately, Aqua Patch does only let you put energy onto a benched Pokemon, so it's not going to be seeing a lot of use here for us. We're going to see our opponent now take full advantage of that 10-card hand. We were kind of hoping that Octillery might get us into something other than 2 Fuel Blowers, Aqua Patch, and Mewtwo, because now we can only get a single card out of our hand next turn. He has the Float Stone. Let's see, it's going to be 30 times 5 is 150, which isn't a KO. But if he does actually do that, if he goes for the 150, we're going to actually be able to see us do an Ice Path and do a KO back. So we're going to get rid of the Lele because it's a liability here. And I think we're going to get rid of one of our Alolan Vulpixes. So that helps free up our bench space with our Field Blower getting rid of that Parallel City now. We're seeing him going for a Lele, likely for a draw supporter of some sort, or potentially for a Guzma. If he has any ideas here, he's probably going to Guzma up our Octillery and get rid of it. Now, he's not. He's actually going for straight Sycamore. He's going for the card advantage here instead. We're seeing a Rescue Stretcher here buying back the Coco. Ooh. He's shuffling it in rather than return it to his hand because he wants to get the extra card draw off of the Oranguru. We see the Oranguru getting him a straight up Fighting Fury build here, which is good for him because it means that this Rayquaza is sitting at 220 HP right now. Now, that does put us out of range at the moment for the Ninetales, but our opponent isn't investing any further. So I do like that we drew a Brooklet Hill here. So let's go ahead and we're going to Brooklet. We're going to Field Blower, getting rid of the Float Stone and the Fighting Fury belt off of the damaged Rayquaza. We're going to put down our Mewtwo to free up our hand. We're going to use Brooklet Hill now to go, I guess, for our second Remoraid here. And we're going to Octillery to draw 2. Now, we're not using the other Field Blower just yet, because we're worried about potentially another say, Fighting Fury belt on the Rayquaza, or a Parallel City to kind of mess with our bench space again. But we did get a Cynthia here, so we will be shuffling the Field Blower away to go up in cards. We still haven't hit any basic water energy of any sort, which is kind of disappointing to say the least. Now, we do have the ability to use the Ultra Ball here to go for or discard Bridget, and likely one of the ends here. In this case, we are going to go for the Ninetales to get it out of our deck, and we're going to evolve our baby Ninetales here, or our Alolan Vulpix, I guess I should say. We're going to then do another Ice Blade, and this time we're going to put the damage, let's see, on the second, or rather the Full Art Rayquaza here. Mainly because we want to keep the damage spread around. We're hoping for, he does have the Float Stone, sadly, and another energy being attached here. He's going to try to go for a serious amount of damage here, and we're going to just KO in return now. We did finally get ourselves a water energy, which I'm going to attach here now, and our opponent's actually just going to scoop it up, realizing that we're going to KO his active Rayquaza, making all of his other Rayquazas weaker, and he's just not going to be able to get through it. Now, that was a pretty short game, so what I think we're going to actually do here is we're going to hop into the queue here once more, once I get these prompts here out of the way for the round prizes there. So let's just hop into the queue right away and see how we get matched up here. So let's see what we're paired off against. Now, that was a top tier deck. I'm glad that we did get to play against it, because that means that we were able to at least get an idea of how Ninetales would shape up in a new format. A lot of the Ninetales deck itself doesn't actually rotate, so it looks like good as a post-rotation deck. So it looks like we're against Dark, Fighting, Psychic, and Fairy. So is this the Zoroark Lycanroc, and it's running the Sylveon EX that I've seen around? We are going to take the first turn here either way. Again, we will forego the turn 1 beacon for the chance of getting the turn 1 evolution. The Bridget here is actually good for us because it means that we're going to be able to get set up on our essentially second turn here. And we do have a draw supporter as a follow-up. Now, I'm debating whether we invest the DCE here or we likely just actually put down a water energy. So let's go for a Bridget. We're going to quickly check what's prized. So we have our Coco Mewtwo. We're going to go for Vulpix, and Tapu Koko, I think, for the free retreats. We have one of our Ninetales. Our baby Ninetales is prized. We have both of our Octilleries. We have an Aqua Patch prized. We have one of our Field Blowers prized. We have one of our Ultra Balls prized. We have both of our Brooklet Hills, both of our Bridgets, all of our Cynthias, all of our Guzmas. We have an N in hand. It looks like a Sycamore is prized. We have a Floatstone prized here. We have 2 DCs in hand on our other energy, and that's all 6 of our prizes. So we're going to go like this. We're going to attach a water energy to an Alolan Vulpix, and we're going to go ahead and pass back to our opponents. So it does look like they're on Lycanroc, dark paired with fighting, and we're seeing Rockruff here. We're likely going to be seeing Zoroark, Lycanroc. It's going to be a strong setup overall. Is that a counter energy? No, it's the actual energy split there. Now we do see a Cynthia from our opponent here. So it's going to feel bad when we N and they end up going up cards in hand. But we will have to deal with that as the time comes. Now, we could go for, let's see, we can Ultra Ball, discarding the Field Blower and the one of the DCEs. We can go for Octillery here. We can lay Octillery on to our Remoraid. We can evolve our Alolan Vulpix here. We'll put a DCE down onto it. We're going to use Abyssal Hand here to see 4 cards first, to see if we top deck a Guzma, for example. Now we do top deck a Lele, which is essentially a Guzma, so we will go for a supporter card here. This one will be a Guzma. We're likely going to evolve our other Ninetales here as well, just to make sure it's ready. But essentially we want to shut down the energy on this wonderful little puppy boy here. Force it up into the active, and we're not going to invest anything else into the bench here. Now if he has a strong energy, if he has, say, a strong energy, a Diancie Prism, a Choice Band, he could technically attach an energy here and go for a KO if he has the Evolve, but we're hoping that he doesn't. Now he does start with a Zoroark there, he does have the Choice Band, he's going for a draw supporter here. We're hoping he does not hit the Lycanroc plus energy, because then we will be losing our Ninetales. Now he's going for a Cynthia, which means that he does have cards in hand that he doesn't want to discard. Otherwise, he just would have went for a Sycamore for just the raw draw power. Let's see if he has the energy plus Lycanroc. He's not going for it immediately, but he could just be going for the bench space filling here initially. Mainly because we do have a Riotous Beating as a potential attack to worry about. Now, if he can't go for a straight KO on us, we have to hope to hit our own Choice Band here to have us essentially just KO this Rockruff. He is going for the Lycanroc, getting 2 heads here. So we do see Zoroark. Now he can't evolve one of them because he did only put it onto a bench with a Nest Ball this turn. But he does get another go here. Let's see if he does get the energy plus Lycanroc to be able to do a dangerous rogue for 200 damage plus 30 of 230 to KO our Ninetales. Now, he hasn't done it yet, so we still do have a chance at the moment, but, oh, we have our second energy, we have our Lycanroc, and this is all she wrote, folks. This will be a straight KO on our Ninetales here. That was a very greedy play for us to force that up, and we are paying the price for it, to say the least. Now, we could potentially get out of this. We have an energy in hand. We'll go ahead and attach an energy here. We will do an N to force our opponent down cards in hand. We're going to do it before the Octillery because we're going to look to empty some cards out of our hand. Drawing another energy isn't exactly what we wanted to see here, but we can throw away a one prize attacker here by putting up the Mewtwo. We can Octillery for one card, which is good. We do have Cynthia. We drew another Octillery, which we can lay next turn. So if they do even manage to take out our Octillery as per se, we're still going to be able to take the KO here. Now, we're in a bit of a dire strait. Our opponent has superior card advantage at the moment across the Zoroarks, and we are already down 2 prizes. He has a Lycanroc suited up. We're not really going to be able to one-shot it. We need to be able to get some damage onto it. What we want to draw, as per se, is going to be a Guzma, and we can force up one of his other Pokemon there. He's forcing up our Ninetails, though, which I think we'll actually be fine with, and mainly because he'll go for damage here, and we'll be able to, say, Ice Path to negate it, and he will be forced to have an Acerola to save his Zoroark, essentially. We do see his trades continuing here as he goes deeper into his deck. We're hoping in our case that we draw something good here. A Floatstone is alright, but not where we want to be. So let's see. We'll put a Floatstone down on an Octillery, evolve an Octillery. We're going to put down an energy on the Ninetails. We're going to Abyssal Hand to draw 2, see if it puts us in any kind of better situation. We can end our opponent down a card, which I think we will try, even just to look at a different set of cards for ourselves. Getting forced to use the Ice Path here is not a fun time, and we're not getting down any cards next turn. So let's go ahead and we're going to Ice Path here. We want to be able to save our final remaining attacker, essentially. We will be taking 120 damage on our opponent's turn, and then if they have another DCE, they will be able to KO our Ninetails, and he had the Acerola, folks. So we put it into his hand with that N, and I'm kind of disappointed about that, but there's no guarantee he didn't have it already. So here we're going to be able to Guzma up, say, the weakened Zoroark here to force it into the active, use Ninetails to put a bit of damage onto the Zoroark that we put into the bench, and have it set up for a potential Blizzard Edge, but we aren't in very good states here. So what we want to do is we're going to Guzma up here, put up our Tapu Koko promo. We're going to retreat into the Ninetails, put a Choice Band on it, and we are going to Ice Blade, putting the damage onto his Zoroark here. Now, if we get a turn where he doesn't get the Zoroark up into the active and we top deck an energy, would be fine, but he had another DCE. So, we are 100% losing this game. I don't think there is quite literally any way we can come back from it. Short of him having 0 additional Guzmas in his deck, 0 puzzles of time to buy cards back, and us somehow taking a prize and getting our baby Ninetails. We get a Field Blower here as well. He's not taking the Choice Band off the Ninetails. He has no need to at this point, and he's going to go for a straight KO. Now, let's go ahead and put up our Tapu Koko promo here. Now, we can go for a Lele for an N, but we actually top deck an N off the top of the deck, and we're going to go ahead and use it. We are forcing our opponent down a significant amount of cards here. We have 2 prizer available. We have energy that we can Aqua Patch on to our Pokemon here, But let's go ahead and discard a Cynthia and an energy because we have a Cynthia in hand already. We're going to go for a Vulpix. We're going to lay the Vulpix. We're going to Aqua Patch, putting an energy on to the Vulpix here. We're going to attach an energy for turn. We're going to use our first Octillery here. We get a Brooklet Hill, which we can get out of our hand. We can Ultra Ball, discarding the Lele and the Cynthia. Going for nothing here, I think. And then we use our second Octillery to draw an additional 4. We do get another energy. We can Rescue Stretcher to put some Ninetails back into our deck. I don't think it's going to do much for us, but we can go Vulpix, or Vulpix Ninetails, I guess. It does get us another card out of hand. We'll retreat the Coco into the Mewtwo, and we're going to pass, because next turn we can Guzma up a Zoroark, evolve, KO it, and still draw a significant amount of cards without losing the Mewtwo. Our opponent doesn't have the ability to one-shot. Mallow is not a good time for us here because they can likely force our Vulpix up. If they take out our Vulpix, we're just kind of screwed, I guess I should say. So it's not looking good at the moment. If we manage to make a comeback on this somehow, I will be terribly surprised. We have used all of our ends, so we're not going to be able to force our opponent down cards in hand. We're not even going to be able to shuffle away anything from the Mallow if he just leaves it on top, but we are going to be seeing a discard here. There's no way that he doesn't just use a trade to get the 2 cards that he's looking for here. Now, he does get rid of the Fairy Tapu Lele here. We're seeing the Lycanroc forcing up our Vulpix here. Oh, this is not what we wanted to see, folks. We are a little bit screwed here. So what we can do is we can put up the Tapu Koko. We can draw an Aqua Patch. We'll Brooklet Hill, go for an Alolan Vulpix. We'll Aqua Patch onto it. We will lay an energy on it. We will Guzma up here. Hope he doesn't have another DCE. I mean, he's used 3 of them. If he has one prized or another one's left in the last 22 cards, we might have a chance. We're going to go ahead and use Octillery here. We'll attach Choice Band, because why not? We're going to Octillery for 1. We only have 10 cards left in our deck after this. And I guess we're just going to Icy Snow for 50. We don't want to Beacon. There's no point to at this point. If our opponent can get his Lycanroc out of the active, we're kind of boned. So he just needs to hit a DCE. He just needs time here. What we want to do is evolve into Ninetails and start taking some snipes. Wait for him to try and get a Zoroark up into the active so we can KO it. But really, we don't have a chance here, especially when he does just Guzma up an Octillery and win. So we didn't think of the Guzma there. We had seen him use only 1 already. And we are losing this match in pretty spectacular fashion with 0 prizes gained on our part and our opponent just kind of tearing us apart. So that all stemmed from us misplaying and forcing up the Rockruff that had energy on it, not thinking that our opponent would have the Choice Band or damage boost to make it lethal with a dangerous rogue. So play bad, get punished. But overall, still a couple fun games. We're sitting at 1-1 right now out of those 2 games, and I do hope you continue to tune in for the rest of the week. We do always greatly appreciate your viewership, and we do hope that you enjoy our videos as well. So thank you again, and this is Adam with 8 Badge Gaming, signing off.